The future is automatic. That's what everyone's saying these days, and I know as car guys, we absolutely hate to hear that. However, what if you mix the automatic future with the old good stuff? And right here we have an example of that. This is Justas's E36 328i drift car. This guy's been drifting this car for many, many years with a ZF 5-speed. However, he made one change this season, and that is he paired this car up with an 8 HP 45 automatic transmission. Now an 8 HP came out in I think 2013 through about 2015. It came in X5s, 335i's, various I think models of that era. And it's basically an 8-speed automatic transmission. And thanks to Turbo Lamik and a few other companies, there is now a way that you can fit those into your E36, whatever M50 powered car. And we're gonna take this thing for a rip with Justas. He's gonna run us through kind of the process, and we're gonna see how a 450 horsepower turbo E36 mates up to an automatic transmission. I forgot to mention that earlier. This is a 450 horsepower Turbo M52 328. So we're in for quite the treat, and then we're gonna see, coming from an old caveman like me who really only drives manual old cars, how it competes with basically what this car was stock, which was a ZF 5-speed or a automatic 4-speed, or I guess 5-speed, but that's not even comparable, I'm guessing. So let's hop in it and go for a drive. Before we go for a drive, we're going to talk about kind of what goes into the swap itself. So here is Justas. If you guys have seen the channel before, you know him. So run us through what goes into the 8 HP swap, because it's more than just a trans.
So first of all, you need a transmission to bolt onto your engine, and then you need a controller to control the transmission.
So that's the transmission's ECU,
yes,
or TCU, if you will.
Yeah, it's a TCU from Turbo Lamik, and then
so that's not a BMW part.
That is not a BMW
because
part.
this car, or these cars have stock trans computers that run them.
Automatic cars, yes.
Yes, which you can't integrate, or you just don't want to.
You can't.
Okay, you can't. Okay.
They would not control a transmission like this.
Okay. Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, there's a lot of features. We'll get into them, but, so you have your TCU.
You have your little LCD display that tells you transmission temperature, position of the rotary switch that's down there to control the transmission modes.
Okay, that's this right here, right?
Yeah, that's the little knob under the
Okay, so you have eight modes in this car?
You have 8
We'll talk about those when we're driving, but, so that tells you what mode you're in.
What mode, what gear. That's basically about it. Then also there is a bigger screen down there that tells you what gear you're in, because you want to know what gear you're in, especially when you're drifting.
Yep. What about the shifter plate here?
So the shifter, this is a DCT shifter. It's literally like a simulator shifter. It's all wires, so it just goes.
But it actuates like a DCT.
Yes, it actuates like a DCT.
But it doesn't have a reverse, does it?
It does have a reverse. For reverse, you press it forward once and then you hold it, and then it'll put you into reverse.
Oh, but it's not like BMW DCT where you like actually.
Yeah, no, there's no left for sport or
so
back
it's
for gear.
It's just up and down.
Yes, but you can also run a BMW shifter with this controller.
Yeah, and then
you want to.
You just had to basically get all the wiring to match up to this.
All the wiring goes into the ECU. There's a whole harness for it.
What other supplementary sensors do you need? You need like a map sensor, right?
Yes.
Which you have in the engine bay, which I'll flash a clip of.
This ECU and transmission needs to see engine torque to calculate how to compress the clutches and engage them all. So it needs to read something out of the engine. And since this is analog, it doesn't have all the features like blips and shift cuts, stuff like that. But we're trying to make it work in the future.
It's still in motion, basically. It's still a learning process.
Still developing.
And we do still have a clutch pedal, right? And it does work.
It does work.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we're driving. But super interesting, pretty damn high-tech setup. So that's kind of the gist of it. And there's write-ups on all this, right?
Yeah.
Someone could follow along if they want to do it themselves.
Yep.
You did this yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this was done at home in the garage, no special, shop or anything like that. What about, how do you get the trans to bolt onto the engine?
This engine, the reason why I picked this transmission is because this transmission, it's from an N55 engine, which has a really similar pattern to and M52, M50, all these motors,
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is Dremel out 2 top bolts, and you don't get to use every single bolt because the oil pan's different.
Yeah, you don't
so
need to.
You use most of the bolts to
Okay.
match up to the M52 motor.
So no actual adapter plate,
No adapter plate.
but you do need an adapter plate for the starter.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
It's just a little piece with 3 holes in it.
And it's a stock starter, right, for an M52?
Yeah, stock starter from an M52.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, all right, that's the gist of it. So I say we go take this thing for a rip and see how she does. I was about to drive like I know what I'm doing. Okay, so what do I do?
So the ECU needs brake switch.
So I got to hit the brake.
You have to hit the brake to get it out of gear. So right now we are in park.
Uh-huh.
P3 is the position you're in on the rotary switch.
Yeah.
43 is the oil temp.
Let me just get a picture of this for...
In order to go into reverse, you press the shifter forward once and again and hold it. Actually do it faster. There's reverse.
Okay, so now this thing on the... What the hell does that even say? Oh, R.
R.
Lowercase r. So now I'm good.
Yes, you're good.
Okay, so now I'm just automatic, no
It
clutch.
just goes because it has a torque converter.
But you can use the clutch
Yes.
to start, right?
You can.
Okay. All right, so now brake in and just back.
Yeah.
And now I'm in neutral.
Now you're in neutral.
Okay, it tells me that.
Now you're in, it starts in second gear. This
Starts in second?
Yes, it's programmed to start in second gear because usually first gear is way too short
Oh.
and it's not very usable. Put it in mode 1.
So I turn the dial to the
turn
left?
it towards you, yeah. One more. Okay, so now you're in P1. This is fully automatic.
So full automatic, so no clutch, no nothing.
No,
This is just casual driving,
Yes,
like an
it'll
automatic
shift
trans.
for
Yeah,
you.
it's okay. I see. It's already shifting for us. My left foot is ready, like I need to hit the clutch, but
No.
I just don't.
Yeah, that's the hard part to get used to.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then, what's mode 2?
Mode 2 is like a sport mode, which makes everything more sensitive.
Okay,
it's
so
still fully automatic.
But it's just sport.
It's sport, so the way this ECU calculates how to shift is off throttle position because it's all analog.
Mhm.
So when you are heavy on the throttle, you hit any more than 20%, it'll downshift and it'll stay in that gear
Yeah.
until it's ready to shift.
Okay. 3 is.
It's shifter. You can use a shifter. It won't upshift for you unless you're over 6,500 RPM.
Oh, so it does still have a fail safe.
Yes.
Am I in P3? Oh no, I didn't switch them.
You're in P3
Yeah,
right
I'm still in auto. Okay.
Yeah, fully auto right
So
now.
P3 means I can use the shifter
Yes.
to shift through my gears,
Yeah.
kind of like a Triptronic.
Basically,
Yeah. Okay.
It's like if you were in an N55 car, like a 2013 335,
Yeah.
and you put it in a sport, that's literally the mode.
Okay.
Which, it's the smoothest one.
Yeah.
Smoothest mode.
Best way to drive.
Besides drive,
Yeah.
with using the shifter.
Okay, and then 4.
4, I'm not sure. Never
I've-
used it.
4, we don't know. What's
Nope.
5?
5, not sure.
Not sure. Okay.
6, I'm pretty sure 6 is dyno mode.
Okay, 4 and 5 are mystery modes.
Yes.
6 is dyno mode,
Yep.
which makes it so what? Nothing, like the failsafe doesn't kick on when the wheels are spinning
Yeah,
without the car moving?
No, it makes it for when you hit limiter, you do your pull on the dyno, it
Mhm.
puts it into neutral, and it lets the RPMs go down. So you're
Okay.
not sitting in gear the whole time.
Okay, gotcha.
E7 is the mode that I use the most. It's called drift mode, but you can use it for drag racing, whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's fully sequential, so there's no fail safes. You can hit limiter, you can downshift whenever. It uses the firmest shifting that it can use.
Mm-hmm.
So it mostly doesn't use the torque converter. All the gears are fully locked up.
Yeah. So then what's P8?
P8, not sure.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Those are
I thought one of those
sensors that
modes
you
meant the
have.
clutch pedal kicks in.
No.
But so,
The clutch pedal will work right now. Even right now, if you press the clutch pedal in,
oh, okay, yeah, so I can rev it. And then I let it
Rev
out
it.
like a normal,
yeah.
but there's no bite point. So like, I can let it out as quick as I want.
There
It's
is
just a
bite
switch.
point when you are stopped and you mess
Yeah.
with it, it will bite.
So what scenario do you use the clutch then? Like you wouldn't use it to shift.
No,
You use it for drifting. It's kind of like clutch kicking, right?
Yeah.
Like a manual car?
You use it for clutch kicking, and you use it to, if you need to dump the clutch off the line, to press in the clutch, rev it up, and dump it.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Okay. So partial throttle, and it's just automatic.
Automatic.
And the shifts, the bright blue selector down here is telling me what gear we're in. So we're in 6th gear already. 50 miles an hour, we're in 6th gear, and we're in P1 still. but we're just driving this as a stock car. Kind of refreshing to get into a car and not have to, I'm so used to my turbo car being a leg workout that to not have to use it is kind of weird. It's, I don't know, it's a really trippy feeling because any old BMW we all know is like, auto trans is the worst thing ever, right? The old, they're 4 HPs or whatever?
Their E36 has got 5 HPs, I believe.
Okay, E34s I think are 4 HP.
Probably, yeah.
Just garbage, 4 speeds and 5 speeds.
I'm sure there's 3 HPs and whatever they started
Yeah,
with
3 HPs are from
like
E28s, I think.
Yep.
So, like those are, you can't really drive those transmissions. They're clunky, they're rough, they're so slow. So to get in like one of these cars, which to me an E36 feels kind of modern, but like.
We didn't talk about the downshifting yet.
Oh.
As you're slowing down, it sees the brake switch being on, and it will downshift all the gears. And in this car, you don't even feel it downshifting.
No, I didn't even realize it was downshifting for me.
So it goes from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or to 2.
And okay, the boost wants to kick in. I'm trying to drive this without the turbo right now, just for the sake of, you know, so it applies to more situations because not everyone's car is 450 horsepower turbo. But man, I mean, you get into 6th gear like this, and you don't even think about it. And your left leg doesn't have to move. It's actually pretty nice. It makes this super dailyable.
Yeah, I like driving this car more than my M3 now.
And you have he has the S54 M3 that is also on the channel.
Yep.
But that's still a ZF 5-speed.
Yep, ZF 5.
Ooh, rub. So we're in 7th gear.
7th gear.
So if you were on the highway, would you say 8th gear? What RPM do you sit at like 80 miles an hour?
At 80 miles an hour, it's at 2,000 RPM.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're talking fuel economy, you literally will not beat it no matter how like soft you're driving a manual, because the reality is an E36 M3 only has 5 gears and 290 or 323 stock diff, right?
Yeah, stock M3 diff.
So yeah, I mean you're at probably what, $4,000 at like 80-ish,
like
3,500?
35, 3400 RPM.
Okay, and what diff is in this right now?
293.
Okay, so it's a lower diff. So we have probably the longest gearing you could have right now of an E36 combo.
Yeah.
So this is a very cruising combo, but with a turbo car you want that because like my red car or my E34, when you have higher gears in the diff, you can't even use your turbo power because you're just shifting all the time.
Yeah, you're letting the engine work for a longer time.
Yeah. So I mean this, yeah, for auto mode, this is really nice. It's just comfortable, but it's not necessarily exciting, right? Any auto is not going to be as engaging as when you're beating on a car. But what we're about to find out when we get out of traffic is how engaging it can really be when we actually get into it. And my hypothesis of how this car is going to feel like, I feel like it's going to feel like a more refined SMG or a DCT from like an E92 M3.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like this is going to feel like. Now, what mode gets me into paddle shift?
P3, so switch it to 1.
1, 2, oh, I went 4?
Yeah, that's 3 right now.
Okay, so I'm in 3. So now I can shift.
Yeah, you can shift.
And I can shift whenever I want.
Yeah.
And it's completely seamless.
Little rub.
It's literally, you don't have to let off like an SMG. If you don't let off on that, the diff falls out. But I can downshift. So we're in 5th. Wow. Oh, see, I let off right there. I didn't have to.
You didn't have to.
You kind of have to retrain yourself what it's like to drive an auto. Like, I don't know, like I've only ever been in like my turbo car, which is just a manual heavy clutch, and it's such a chore.
Yeah.
And I've been in this car for many years, and it's like I'm not driving it, but you watch the guy doing all the footwork, and now it's like you literally sit here, you hit the brake, you hit the gas.
Yeah.
But now in this mode, will it downshift for me if I don't hit this?
It will.
Okay, so it's still.
Yeah, it still has the.
But it's more of a fail-safe way, right? Like it only does it if it gets to within a point where it needs to.
As it's slowing down, it'll see that the RPMs are staying low and the brake switch is on, so it'll downshift the gears down to 2nd.
But then I don't have to, so I can go into 1st.
You can, yeah.
And now we're just chilling in 1st. I don't have to put it in neutral, right?
No.
But it goes forward like an auto.
Yeah.
Why would you go this route versus like fitting like a dual clutch in here?
The reason why I did it, because this has a torque converter. A DCT is way rougher, and the tuning for it is much more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been figured out, but I feel like this ECU that's in here now has refined it so much that it feels.
Oh no!
So this ECU has refined the 8 HP transmission to work with an engine that it's not supposed to be working with, So it's smooth, it can be daily driven, it can hold power, it can shift fast. Dual clutch is more aggressive, so every gear you feel, starting you feel.
A lot more expensive of a transmission, I'd imagine?
Yeah, those are more pricey, so now you have to ship them.
Okay, yeah, I forgot. So what did this transmission cost?
This transmission with 60,000 miles was $600.
Okay, so yeah, $600 transmission, which nowadays is less than a ZF 5-speed. So everyone goes, okay, I have an auto M3, ZF swap it, right? That's just what you do. You put a 5-speed in it.
Yep.
But now you have an option where you could take an auto M3 and you don't need to do a pedal swap because you don't need the clutch pedal. Like this clutch pedal is totally just your preference for drifting.
Yep.
You do not need it at all. So you can take an auto car and make it at 8 HP, and then you have, I need to drive it more to come up with that, what I'm gonna say, but like you basically have like a manual auto car.
Yeah.
We let off the downshift, right? Obviously. Fill out the gas? Yeah. You don't have to.
No.
So I can have my foot where I'm at and just, oh.
It's almost like a rev match.
Yeah. Oh, see, I let off and I got it all clunky. I can't figure it out.
It takes time.
We're literally at 60 miles an hour at 1,500 RPM. So we're
barely idling.
Yeah, we're in literal fuel efficient mode right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's quiet.
And it's quiet. I mean, so quiet. We're in this car's straight pipe, by the way.
Yeah.
Straight pipe, just turboed. And it's so damn quiet in here. You wouldn't even realize it was modified.
Yeah. All you hear is a little turbo whistle.
All you hear is a little bit of the turbo whistle. And then you can downshift it. A lot. You have many gears to go through. Is it?
It's a gear.
Oh, okay. It's literally instant. But now, so being a turbo car, like I can't really corner this thing very hard.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, so like this trans in like an NA car would probably be really wild.
Oh yeah.
But like this, you have to kind of play it safe in the corners. I don't want to have to insurance this car. But I mean, it's not shifting for you like an auto would be doing. So, and then when you need to slow down, wow.
Yeah.
It's smooth.
In this mode, it's super smooth. We'll try P7 in a little bit, and you'll feel the gears.
And now we're in 8th gear, and it's like, I mean, so you're completely engaged throughout like the spirited driving because I'm still finding the right gear, but you don't have to worry about your leg, and you don't have to worry about money shifting it, which is always a concern with a manual because it's never fun to think you're going into 5th and you're going into 3rd.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's that's so crazy.
And now we can switch to P7, and you'll feel the gears more. And this is the non-safety mode.
Okay, so I'm going 7th,
Yeah.
P7,
So
P5, P6. All right, so P7.
P7. So this is the fully sequential. You will feel the gears as it's compressing, full lockup or whatever it's doing.
Now this is aggressive shifting.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, you.
Yeah.
So I haven't really driven this car as a 5-speed, but would you say, does it feel any less powerful or any slower or?
It feels so different because with this transmission, there's no boost drop between gears.
That's true.
It gains boost
Yeah.
as you shift it. So it's so different. It's hard to say. I want to put it on a dyno, see what it makes with the transmission.
Yeah, see if you have more power loss.
Usually a torque converter will lose power.
Yeah.
So
this thing would be really interesting to see what it feels like behind an NA car that you could actually like ring out in a corner. Because you really can't ring this thing out in corners. But like the sense of it's the same, right? Like, okay, going into the corner, downshift. And I mean, you're still finding the gears. So instead of having to jiggle through 2nd all the way over to 3rd and then 4th, you could just do this. So really, you could be a lot better of a driver. Like if you were like track time attacking this car, I feel like you would improve your time significantly with this. The biggest thing that ages old BMW is the auto gearboxes. Like this makes this car feel pretty quick. Oh, so I have to let off. and just like that, we're going very fast.
Yeah.
Wow. So then you could downshift if you want to do your roll racing, get on it.
It's quick.
Yeah, that's so, wow.
Yeah.
That is really nice to drive.
Yeah. That's why I've been driving it so much.
You know, this guy's been nonstop hyping this up, and I've been getting in the Turbo E34, which is the double puck dual diaphragm clutch, and my knee hurts, and I've been thinking to myself, man, auto would be nice in this car.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm like, and after driving this, I feel like I would consider it, because really, like, I don't need that car to be manual. I don't do anything. I mean, if you drift this car, and we're not talking the guy goes and does donuts in a parking lot. You've been in the final bout competitions. You go to the track. Some serious drifting. Maybe I'll actually have a clip to throw in here and show.
Yeah.
But like, if there was anything that was gonna necessitate a manual gearbox, it's probably drifting.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can do this and have no problems really says that you don't ever really need a manual trans.
You really don't. Like, when I did this, I was scared about drifting not being the same. But since I've done
Being boring or just not being good?
Being different, not fast enough. Because like, when you're drifting and you're tandeming, you got to be on it.
Yeah.
And if
you got to go through gears quick.
you're relying on a computer to kick the clutch and to shift the gear.
Yeah.
So you don't know how it's going to react. But once I did it 2 events so far, it's no downsides, just upsides, which is crazy.
That's pretty wild, yeah. And the clutch pedal still works because I'm here revving it. Yeah, so I mean, you really, I guess you could. Okay, I totally went manual mode right there. I thought I had the clutch in and I was looking for gear.
Yeah.
So you could technically drive this as a manual, like you could clutch in, but it feels really wrong.
You don't want to clutch in, you want to drive it more like an SMG.
Okay.
You want to let off the gas.
Let off,
Yeah.
shift, but you don't want to clutch in.
No, you don't want to clutch
That's
in.
probably just wearing the clutch packs out.
It's not wearing anything out, it just feels wrong. I don't think
It feels really wrong. That
Yeah.
like my brain just completely farted right there.
Yeah.
That felt awful. And you definitely got to retrain your brain because what you're just so used to. I let off. That is so crazy. That is it's just fun. It's just like I'm spending more time thinking like I have to shift than you have to actually think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're coming up to traffic and it's like, oh crap, downshift, and I don't think any human could shift faster than this.
No.
No, definitely not.
All right, so stay in second gear right here.
Okay.
And then take this corner.
Mm-hmm.
And floor it and shift that limiter.
Okay. So you can sit at limiter.
Yeah.
And then it's still, oh my God, and you don't really feel like you're doing anything wrong because you're not like putting any more wear on the transmission no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought this transmission. This transmission is not rated for a lot of power. It's rated for 450 newton meters, which is like 300 wheel torque.
Yeah.
But
And this car makes what, 500 torque, probably 400?
450, 500.
Yeah. And I mean, going into the corners, it's like, all right, I needed a lower gear. Okay, there's my lower gear.
And the amount it drops between gears on RPM is very small.
Super small.
So every gear is basically usable.
I've never driven your car at all, let alone like spiritedly like this. It feels kind of weird.
It's not meant for this.
No, it's not meant at all for this.
It'll do it.
Yeah, this feels really right. This feels pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's like a left here.
Okay. Woo! Yep, drift car. Right, wanted to go.
Oh,
Yeah, it's literally seamless. It's like you literally could not beat that. Because what the hell do I need to do this for with a ZF? And my turbo car is a nightmare. Nothing's set up properly. Like it needs the shifter linkage sucks, so it's really hard to drive. But like this really makes you sit there and think. Because I probably, this is what I'll say. I would probably still want a manual car in my collection.
Yeah.
Like I don't think. Like it depends on what you kind of car collector or owner you are, right? Like you know, I collect from illness perspective. I'm beyond what you can imagine in that sense. But like, you know, if you were to pick like, you know, say, oh, you have a daily driver SUV, but you want one fun car. Could this be the one fun car? I think it could. I think me personally, I'd probably still want like my standard manual transmission.
Yeah.
Just because that's an engaging thing. Manual driving is, you can't really replace it. No. But from an efficiency standpoint and a fun standpoint, this is really the same thing and it's just as good in every way. Except you just don't get to shift, like cross over a H pattern, which is whatever, right? But like you still have your manual car, you know, so I think it does everything a manual car can do, but better, but it just can't really replace it.
I want to show you.
Okay, here, I'll do a close-up filming.
How the clutch works and stuff.
Okay, so, ready?
So, you push in the clutch.
So it says clutch 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
So what sensor's reading that?
So I have an E60 headlight level sensor.
That's so weird.
It's 0 to 5 volts, so it sees, this is 100%, so it's seeing 5 volts right now. You let off slowly, and it goes down to 50, all the way out. So you let off the brake, you have the clutch in, you start letting it off, and it'll start
moving. That's you driving with the clutch.
That's with the clutch.
Yeah. Wow. So this is literally manual right now.
Literally manual.
This is literally a manual transmission. That is so freaking weird that you can drive an automatic transmission manually. Now, obviously, if you didn't have a clutch pedal, you couldn't do this.
No.
But you don't have to do this.
I mean, there's ways. You could wire up, so you have a hydro. When you pull the hydro, you want to have the clutch in, because if you don't, then the drive shaft's still spinning, everything's still spinning, you can break stuff. Yeah. So you could wire in a sensor that goes from like here to here, so it reads
the same thing.
The same
0
thing.
0 to 5 volts.
Yeah, 0 to 5 volts, and when
that's
you pull
your
it
clutch
in,
pedal.
that could be your clutch pedal.
Yeah, okay.
But then you can't clutch kick.
Yeah.
You can only disengage.
You'd have to hand kick.
Yeah, you have to hand kick.
All right, so that's how that works. Very interesting. Can you stall it?
You probably can. I don't want to.
Yeah, okay.
But you probably can.
Like if you really let it out quick.
Yeah. So what else can I show you on this? So you pull it and hold it. This is launch. I don't know how it works or what it does.
We haven't used it. You haven't used it yet.
I have not used it yet. I'm scared to.
So this would probably be launch control?
Probably launch control.
But it doesn't have any. Yeah. So you think the clutch would operate that or what?
I don't know, because the car's moving right now.
Yeah. So
whatever. This is whatever. But
yeah, maybe it's not set up.
When you let it out, it does that.
Oh, it like springs you forward.
It springs you forward.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how that would work.
I do want to try this. I haven't tried this yet, but we might break something.
Well, if the video ends with us going to get a trailer, then you guys know the verdict on the 8 HP.
So you pull it back and it says trans brake. But now you let off the brake.
And now it's
brake and it holds.
It holds.
So hold this.
So this is like a modern car with a rolling stop.
So now you floor it and it's holding you.
Oh, it's holding. Yeah, that's an axle breaker. Yeah. Right there. I don't see I'm not sure what reason you would ever want to do that.
I mean, you could do a big ass burnout with that.
Okay, so that's
if I kept going.
That's like a burnout mode.
It's like burnout mode, but it's for drag launches.
Yeah.
So
drag launches.
It builds boost off the torque converter. That was the torque converter holding it.
And this is all Turbo Lamik stuff that operates this, right?
Yeah.
How much is that ECU?
The ECU, I believe the whole kit is $2,500.
$2,500.
It's pricey.
Pricey, but I mean, if you let's say $2,500 for that, let's say $1,000 for the Transmax, you're really $3,500 all in, and you have a literally do it all transmission and gearbox. Like, I mean, a total combo.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, why not? I mean, a ZF swap nowadays is $1,500. So I mean, I guess maybe twice that, but twice the capabilities, twice the potential.
It has too much technology that I'm sure I'm still going to be learning about.
Yeah, it's still being learned. We're not experts on this, but
it's like it's just fun to drive. Like, I don't think it has too many downsides to a manual. Like,
no,
it's much easier. You're not looking for gears, especially if you have a ZF with 5th gear lean. That is the worst. You put it in 5th while it's cold, and you're going to be looking for every single gear. Yeah. Which is so annoying. That's just straight back. Oh yeah, it feels even crazier
because like I wasn't looking to like break traction, but the fact that like you can like have the rear end completely out and then just shift and then boom, like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty engaging. It's pretty rewarding. The kickback.
Yeah.
It's pretty notchy and firm. Like it's pretty fun.
Yeah, this is a nice shifter.
It's a very nice shifter.
It's like a sequential car without having all the whiny noises that you get from a sequential transmission.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it too. And if you were to do this, does it need to be like this tall shifter, or could you get like?
No, you can use a BMW shifter. They have a short version of the shifter. They have a bunch of different ones.
Yeah,
you can honestly probably make an H pattern simulator shifter work too. Which is
I mean that's I guess the beauty is it's kind of like a standalone ECU with the trans. So you could kind of code and like DIY your way through whatever you want. Like that's the best part of it, is that it's not a set in stone system like an SMG from 2000 where it's like, hey, what it does, it does. Like you could literally, if you can code and you know how to kind of get your way through like a standalone, you can kind of do that with this. So you could probably get an H pattern to do everything, but then I'm really not sure why you would do such a thing. But
no grinds.
No grinds. Yeah, this guy had a destroyed second gear synchro, or first gear synchro.
First gear synchro.
So he always had to hit the second to first, and now there's no more of that, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah, no throwout bearing noise when the clutch is out.
And sometimes my turbo car won't go into first gear at all. So this car is run, by the way, off of OBD2 stock MS43 or 41 or 43. 41. With literally, it's not chip tuning. What do you?
No, it's
just stock tuning.
OBD4.
Yeah, arcade tunes sort
tuned
of deal. So, and you don't have to alter anything related to that for this trans. So if you had a bone stock E36, you put this trans in and your ECU doesn't need to change. You just need to add this TCM.
It does help.
Or TCU, whatever.
TCU, yep.
Yeah, I mean it's like the most moderate lag, I guess, if you will, like between the shifts. Like it's.
Yeah, and if I had different rear end, it would be even better.
But it's kind of like, I mean, I would say it's the same exact lag you face shifting a manual car, probably lesser.
Yeah.
You know, DCT is probably like you kind of get kicked in the back of the head. This is a little smoother. You don't get kicked like that. You do still feel a kick, but we're also in an E36 that's made of paper mache, so.
And it's got all solid bushings.
Yeah. We're gonna do a pull in full auto mode, so P2 mode.
Yeah, sport auto.
Sport auto, and we're gonna see how this feels. Probably slower than.
I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. Okay.
It's super weird. I've done it once.
All right. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. It's like you're in a fast modern car, which I don't really have much experience in. But
so weird.
Yeah, no shifting, but it still feels like a fun like E36. It still feels light. It still feels like you're right out there with the road. But it's just like, damn. Yeah. It's like it feels like a fast ass car. This is a fast car. I don't know if this trans would make like a stock M3 feel faster. Probably not. But
I don't know. It's weird. I've driven one. It's different, but I think it's much better than if you buy an E36 M3 with an auto trans. This is the swap to do.
Yeah, horrible.
Because that trans is horrible, and what the nice part is, I'm gonna give away a little secret. If you have an automatic M3 and you use this transmission, the stock drive shaft fits.
Oh, that's what we didn't touch about, the drive shaft.
Yeah.
So the stock M3 drive shaft fits right in with this trans.
Yes.
That's crazy. So if you have a stock M3, you literally need to buy a trans, buy a computer, and you're pretty much done.
Yep.
You don't need pedals. You don't need anything. You don't even do a drive shaft. That's insane. So, what's your drive shaft?
This is a C3 automatic front half with the stock rear half combined together.
Yeah, it's interesting. Frankenstein work.
Frankenstein drive shaft.
And it doesn't vibrate or anything.
No.
You didn't even get it balanced, did you?
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just combine them.
Yeah, that's wild. So.
Stock Weibo, stock center support bearing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, you do have to figure out a trans mount. Seems Legit Garage sells a DCT one that you have to modify to fit, but it fits 90%.
And yours is custom?
It's a DCT swap for an E36 from Seems Legit Garage. It's a just a basic trans mount,
Huh.
but basically works. Stock trans mounts, which are Condor
Yeah.
mounts, but they're still like stock style.
Yeah.
You do need to run an oil cooler because these transmissions need an oil cooler.
Okay, so you gotta get an oil cooler and lines and stuff.
Yeah.
What about like a stock M3 auto trans cooler?
You can use that.
Yeah, you just have to, the lines would have to be adapted, right?
Adapted, yes.
And I gotta say, I approve it. I think it's sweet. I think this would be, I can't imagine any old BMW not feeling just as good with this. Like, I feel like this is kind of like I said at the beginning, it's, you're bringing the future to the old stuff, and you're doing it in a way that keeps the funness of the old stuff and lets you still kind of do your own thing, but probably more reliably and more efficiently. And I think that's really cool. So will I be doing this on the channel sometime? Who knows, maybe. But I enjoyed. This was fun.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for letting me drive. You don't even have to shift. So, and I think we will end it there. This video probably got a little bit long, but we've just been having fun. So thank you, Justas, for letting us use your E36 as a test dummy.
Anytime.
8 HP, approved.